Hi everyone. This is an EDU 607 performance assessment presentation. Within this presentation, I will be outlining a third grade performance task, breaking it down into the different learning targets, and even showing you pieces of what the project looks like. By the end of this presentation, I hope you have a better understanding of what a performance task is, why they're so important, and what should be included in one for it to be a successful performance task, by way of me showing you this particular example. So let's get started. As you can see, this is the foundation of the performance task. It is important that everything that we do in teaching our students connects back to the curriculum. This particular performance task will be connecting to the OEEC standards, which is the Office of Education, Evangelization, and Catechesis Standards. You will see that reference throughout this video. These are third grade science standards. They are to make observations and ask questions about objects, organisms, and the environment, and to read and write about science and the world using books and technology. Students would be observing their environments to find simple machines and using technology to collect artifacts of their learning. In this case, the artifacts would be the pictures. As I previously mentioned, within a learning task, it is important to break it down into the different learning targets. These can include a variety of different types, such as knowledge, reasoning, and performance. In order to figure out what the performance task will be, one needs to break down the standards into learning targets. According to the Winston-Salem-Forsyth County Schools, it is important to focus on what the content standard requires students to know and be able to do, not how you will assess it. This doesn't mean that the task isn't important, but it demonstrates how a teacher needs to know what is being taught before the how. In this case, students should be able to list the 6 simple machines and demonstrate everyday uses and define work. The next part of a performance task's learning target is the reasoning students must use. Students are applying knowledge to the real world. Dictionary.com defines reasoning as the process of forming conclusions, judgments, or inferences from facts or premises. In order to form conclusions within this performance task, students must summarize and analyze cause and effect relationships. This in turn will help them to identify the effect simple machines have on work. Within the actual performance piece of the task, there is a combination of skills and products for which each student should be reaching. The difference between skills and products is that skills are the pieces of the learning that can be observed or witnessed throughout the assessment, while the product is the concrete creation. The skills that can be observed in this performance task are explaining how each simple machine works, using technology to demonstrate learning, accurately finding simple machines, and effectively working in small groups. The products would be observations of finding simple machines, written explanations, and the products or pictures taken throughout the scavenger hunt. Here is an example of a student template. This would be the first page of what students would receive for this project. It outlines their goal, their role, and their audience first. The next thing this template outlines is the procedure. It is important for students to have a clear understanding of the steps of this project. The last part of this page outlines the product that will be created. It is so important for students to have this information up front so they know what their end goal is. That will help them better reach it. The next 2 slides show the template on which students would do their writing. Notice brief directions are at the top of the page for clarity. Students would need to fill in each of the simple machines in the first column. Then, while working with their group members or partners, students would take part in a scavenger hunt around the school building and grounds in order to find each simple machine. Once they find each simple machine, they will take a picture of it and check it off in the designated area on their worksheet. The last column I like to save for when we all come back to the classroom. Students can discuss with their groups how the simple machine was used to make work easier. With each step of this project, students are actively engaged and doing a task in order to learn. Here you will see the grading rubric for this project. Rubrics are so important. They are a helpful way for students to see exactly what is expected and how they will earn points. This particular rubric is on a 5-point scale. As you can see, there are 5 different pieces of criteria on which students will be graded. They will of course be graded on their labeled pictures, definitions, and descriptions. However, the last 2 pieces of the rubric are based on participation. The first one is how well students participated in their group, and the other is the quality of the work shown. I always tend to add participation into a group project, so there is a possibility of each group member getting a different grade. Students should be striving for the 5 column, so they obtain the most points possible. With this last page of the slide, I just want to leave you with a quick overview of the benefits of a performance task, such as the example in this presentation. These types of tasks, this one in particular, is authentic, clear, meaningful, and has students active in their learning. Students can work together to learn from each other as well as communicate their learning to others while directly connecting to the standards in the curriculum. This is what to look for in a performance task. As I conclude, I will leave you with this quote cited by Maria Early. After 2 weeks, we tend to remember 90% of what we say and do. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of this particular performance task.